with me. Inhale and exhale slowly. Once more. Inhale and gently release the air, as if you were blowing a cloud of peace into the air. At this moment, you don't need to do anything. Just be here. Allow my gentle voice to guide you, like a quiet breeze that touches your face at dusk. We are about to begin a journey, a gentle and peaceful path to understand something that often seems complicated, but that, today, will be as smooth as a calm river. Today, we will talk about Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin, but in a different way, without haste, without anxiety, without needing to understand everything now. Just allow yourself to feel curious, and at the same time, relax deeply. Close your eyes if you wish, or just soften your gaze and come with me to the first chapter of this journey. We are just beginning. Imagine yourself sitting in front of a fireplace, a warm blanket wrapped around your body, and a blank notebook on your lap. You are about to write down the first words of a new story, your financial story. But calmly, gently, let's talk about money in a human way. No numbers now, just sensations, images, quiet ideas. Bitcoin. Maybe you've heard this name before, and it came accompanied by noisy news, highs, full of ups and downs, of gains and losses. But here, we're going to leave all that outside, because what matters now is to understand the beginning of the idea, the seed, why this word appeared in the world. Bitcoin was born as a proposal for freedom, a different way of thinking about value, money, and how we exchange that value among ourselves. Imagine for a moment that money was like a leaf in the wind. You hold it, and you can give it to whoever you want, without anyone needing to authorize it, without an intermediary saying whether or not you can. This is one of the ideas behind Bitcoin, the freedom to transfer value from person to person. But take it easy. This doesn't mean you need to become an expert or buy anything now. It's just about understanding how the world is changing, how new forms of money are emerging, and how you can observe all this with serenity. Bitcoin is not just an asset, it's an invitation to think differently. It's like a new language that at first seems strange, but that little by little becomes familiar. And here, in this space of calm, we will explore this language in a gentle, smooth, welcoming way. Imagine Bitcoin as a small flame on a dark night. It doesn't illuminate everything at once, but as you get closer, little by little you see more, understand more, feel more confident. This is also the journey of financial education. It's not about knowing everything at once, but about taking the first step with tranquility, with curiosity, with kindness towards yourself. And now, let's move forward together to the next chapter of this journey, where we will see how all of this can touch our daily lives in a real way, but still light, like an afternoon breeze in a calm garden. Breathe with me once more. Inhale, very slowly. Hold for a moment. And now, release gently, as if letting go of the weight of everything that is not needed now. Very good. Now, imagine something curious. A seed, small, discreet, hidden beneath the earth. No one sees it. It doesn't shout. It doesn't shine. It doesn't call attention. But inside it, there is an entire tree. Branches, leaves, fruits. a universe waiting to bloom. Value is also like that. Sometimes it doesn't show itself. It's not in shop windows, nor in charts. It's hidden in small gestures, in intentions, in the silent choices we make throughout the day. For a long time, we learned to associate value with something physical, something you hold between your fingers, like a metal coin, a paper bill, or even a glittering jewel. But what if I told you that real value often has no form? You don't see time, but it is valuable. You don't hold freedom, but you feel it when it is present, and you suffer when it is missing. You don't touch trust, but it can move the world, or paralyze it when it's not there. Bitcoin emerges as an idea that questions these old certainties. It is invisible. You don't keep it in a physical wallet. It doesn't smell, doesn't weigh, doesn't fold in half. But still, it can have value. And perhaps you ask yourself, how can something I don't see be worth anything? The answer lies in trust. It's in what people agree on among themselves, like a silent dance where no one touches, but everyone moves in harmony. Imagine now thousands, maybe millions of people in different places around the world. They don't know each other. They don't speak the same language. They don't share the same culture. But even so, they trust in the same system, in the same code, in the same idea. That is Bitcoin. It's a network formed not by wires, but by silent agreements. It's a way of saying, I trust, not because I was told to trust, but because I can verify for myself. It's different, isn't it? We live in a world where we are often told, trust the bank, trust the government, trust this brand, this name, this institution. But what if trust could be born from a different place? From a place where the face of the person on the other side doesn't matter, because the whole system was made to work anyway. It's like being in a forest at night. You don't see everything, but if you have a light, even a small one, you trust your steps. And that's why Bitcoin is not just a currency, it's a metaphor, a mirror, for us to reflect on how we value things, and on what we are willing to believe. Do we really need colorful papers to feel we have something of value? Or is the true value in connections, in the freedom to choose, to keep, to send, without needing to ask permission? This is new for many, and that's okay. No one needs to understand everything at once, nor make decisions now. The important thing is to allow yourself to think, to feel, to reflect. Because when we talk about Bitcoin, we are not just talking about technology. We are talking about a change in mindset. It's like learning a new language. At first it's confusing, strange words, different sounds. But little by little, you begin to understand the rhythm, the meaning, the beauty. Bitcoin is that, a language of value, spoken by those who decided to observe the invisible. And perhaps, without realizing it, you're already learning to listen to it too. But remember, this journey is not about rushing. It's about presence, about perceiving the subtleties, the hidden layers, the small whispers that reveal big ideas. Breathe once more, very slowly. Inhale, hold for a little while, and release gently. You are doing very well. Allow yourself to rest in this thought, that real value often is in the things that are not touched, but that touch you. And now, if you wish, we can move on together to the next chapter with even more tranquility, with more awareness, with more lightness, because understanding the invisible is the first step to seeing what was previously hidden. Breathe with me once more. Inhale very slowly. Hold for a moment and release, like someone letting go of the fear of needing to control everything. Very good. Now imagine a bridge, not an ordinary bridge, but a bridge of mist, without railings, with no visible end, just one step forward and nothing else. Scary, perhaps. But what if someone told you that this bridge, despite being invisible, is safe? That's the kind of trust that the old digital world challenges us to feel. A trust without a face, without a handshake, without a salesman's smile, without a uniform, without a sign on the door. And yet, the trust is there. For a long time, we learned to trust what is familiar, the face of the bank manager, the logo of a company, the golden seal of a recognized institution. But Bitcoin proposes something different. It says, trust not me, but the code. Trust not who created it, but how it was created. It's a radical change. Imagine now a network, but not a network of wires, a network of people, of machines, of interconnected blocks. Each block tells a story, an immutable record, a memory shared by thousands of electronic eyes, in real time, without an owner, without a boss, without a filter. That is the blockchain. It's as if every time you sent a value, thousands of digital sentinels watched at the same time, validated together, and said, yes, this is true. Yes, this is legitimate. There is no secret room. There is no superior. Just code. Open. Public. Available for anyone to see. This leads us to a new kind of trust. A trust that does not depend on appearance, nor on authority, but on transparency. Trust without a face is like trusting a sundial. It doesn't speak, it doesn't promise, but it works because it depends on the light, the position of the earth, on laws greater than itself. So is Bitcoin. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need to be advertised on TV, because those who learn to understand how it works feel this trust emerge naturally. But, of course, not everyone feels comfortable with this. We live surrounded by faces, advertisements with perfect smiles, companies with friendly avatars, services with easy-to-remember names, and suddenly, something arises that has no face, that doesn't have a toll-free number to call, nor a manager to complain to. This is scary because it forces responsibility. It's like stopping riding a bicycle with training wheels. At first, the feeling is of imminent fall, but then comes the balance, and with it, freedom. Trust without a face is this. It's you, for you. It's the network, working because everyone participates, not because someone commands, but because everyone agrees with the rules. And here is the most beautiful detail. The rules do not change according to someone's mood. They are written, recorded, engraved in blocks of data that tell a unique story, the story of decentralization. But what does that mean? Really, it means there is no single point of failure. There is no button that someone can press and turn everything off. There is no censorship. There is no permission needed. If you have a key, you have access. It's that simple. And that changes everything. It changes the way we think about value, security, freedom, the very idea of trusting. Before, trust was something they asked of us. Now, it's something we build, block by block, idea by idea, choice by choice. And all this happens without a face, without charisma, without beautiful speeches, just working. So, the next time someone says, "But I don't see anyone behind it," you can smile slightly and answer, "That's precisely why it works. Because when no one is in control, no one can abuse control. And that is freedom. Silent freedom. Like the breeze that enters through the window. Like the sound of the night arriving without asking permission. Like time passing without making noise. Inhale slowly. Hold and release. Very good. You are going far, calmly, with presence, with clarity. And this is just at the beginning. When we understand that trust doesn't need a face, we open space for the new, for fairer systems, for more conscious choices, for a world where the invisible, finally, has value. Now, let's explore what it means to live in a world where control is no longer in invisible hands, but in your own hands. Let's breathe together once more. Inhale slowly. Hold for a few seconds. And now, release, like someone releasing the invisible chains of routine, of imposed obligations, of systems we never questioned. Very good. Now imagine the world as an invisible prison, but not a prison of bars, but of rules you never chose. Rules like your money needs to go through us. Your value depends on our approval. Your access can be denied at any time. All of this has been normalized. But what if they told you that there is a way out? Not by force, not with protests, but with code. Code that builds a road, block by block, calmly, logically, freely. This road is called blockchain. In the blockchain, each transaction is a brick. Each record is a piece of the truth, written never to be erased. And freedom, it lives in this, because when you can't move value without asking permission, without depending on an intermediary, without fear of being blocked, you're free. But let's go slowly. Breathe once more, very deeply. Now, imagine that each block of the blockchain is like a page in an eternal book. A book that has no cover, has no owner. But everyone can read, everyone can write, following clear rules, equal for everyone. This is liberating, because behind every block you've ever faced, there is an intermediary, someone in the middle, deciding what you can or cannot do. And the blockchain says, no one in the middle, just code. This is freedom in blocks. It's not a freedom with flags, nor fiery speeches. It's a silent freedom, mathematical, immutable. You have a key, a private key, and with it, you access your funds, your records, your history. Without it, no one can touch what is yours. Not banks, not governments, not hackers, not central systems. It's as if you owned a safe that only opens with your digital breath. And that changes everything. It changes how we think about security, about value, about trust, Because the blockchain doesn't promise freedom, it delivers. With each block, with each verification, with each consensus reached by thousands of machines, working together without knowing each other, but following the same rules. This is the beauty. No one needs to trust anyone, because everyone trusts the process. This process is decentralized. It's transparent. It's auditable. You can look. You can verify. You can participate. There is no dark room. There is no manipulation behind the curtains. What is written stays written. And that's why freedom grows. But freedom comes with responsibility. When no one else can stop you, no one else can protect you either. You are the guardian of your key, the master of your safe, the author of your financial history. And that requires attention, care, connection with what is done. It's like planting a tree in free land. It grows because there are no fences. But you are the one who waters it. You are the one who takes care of it. Freedom in blocks is not a shout. It's a silent choice made every day by studying, by understanding, by using. And over time, this freedom begins to spread. From one block, another is born, and another, and one more, until an entire digital forest emerges, full of possibilities, of new paths, of new systems. Systems that do not control, but empower. Systems that do not judge, but work. And the most beautiful thing, these blocks don't need to be physical. They live in time, on the network, in the distributed trust among people who may never meet, but share the same value, freedom. So, inhale once more, slowly, with presence, and as you exhale, feel what it would be like to live in a world where your value, your autonomy, your freedom do not depend on third parties, but only on you. This is possible, and it's already happening. Block by block, step by step. You don't need to rush, nor understand everything at once. Just one step, one block, one breath, and freedom reveals itself. Let's talk about identity and what happens when we stop being just names to become keys, addresses, and coded freedom. Hold on to this feeling. You are freer than you imagine. Take a deep breath, very slowly. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your chest. And now, release, like someone letting go of the need to be recognized. Once more, but this time, release the weight of needing to be seen by a system that never truly saw you. Who are you? Is it the name they gave you? The number on your document? Or perhaps your email address? Or the password you forgot last week? The truth is that your identity has been fragmented over time. You're not just one person, at least not for the systems. For the bank, you are a code. For social media, a profile. For the government, a number. For companies, a data package. And the worst part, none of this is really yours. Your identity has been outsourced. You only exist as long as someone allows it. If the system crashes, you disappear. If the account is suspended, you have no one to turn to. If someone invades you, you don't even know where to start over. Identity has become a fragile contract, signed without reading the terms, without knowing who is really in charge. But what if I told you that there is a way back, a way where you regain control, where your identity becomes yours again. This path is built with code and lives in the universe of the blockchain. On the blockchain, identity is not a document, it's a key, a unique signature, an address that says, "This is me," and no one can deny it. You don't need to ask permission. You don't need approval. You don't need to follow an imposed standard. Your identity is decentralized. You can have several, each one for a purpose, and all under your control. You can interact, transact, communicate, sign without revealing who you are, unless you choose to. It's like wearing a mask, but unlike the mask that hides, this one reveals what you want and keeps the rest. Identity on the blockchain is about sovereignty. You no longer depend on a server, on a closed system, on an institution. You are the proof itself. And the most amazing thing, technology not only protects, it empowers. With decentralized identities, you can sign contracts, vote on proposals, build reputation, generate trust. All of this without showing your face, without showing your name, because the value is not in who you say you are, but in what you do. Each action, each transaction, each contribution forms a portrait of you, true, immutable, cryptographically verified. It's the end of false identities, of social masks, of fakes, of filters. It's the beginning of digital authenticity. You can be anonymous, but trustworthy. You can be invisible, but respected. This is freedom, and also responsibility, because now you can't blame anyone. The identity is yours, and everything you do with it comes back to you. There is no way to erase. There is no way to hide. There is no way to deny. You are what you do, and this changes everything. It changes how we relate, how we trust, how we organize ourselves. Imagine a world where resumes are public blocks, where reputations are built on each transaction, where you can prove who you are without saying a word. This world is being born, and you can be a part of it. Breathe once more, very deeply, and feel what it is to be whole again. You are not just a name. You are not just an email. You are not just a phone number. You are a set of actions, of decisions, of choices that can now be recorded in blocks that do not break. And in the end, when everything around seems chaotic, there will be a point of stability. Yourself, with your key, with your identity, with your history, engraved in time. This is the new me, the distributed me, the encrypted me, the sovereign me. Let's talk about trust, but not the trust that depends on contracts, on handshakes, or on promises. Let's talk about automatic trust, impartial, incorruptible, the trust of code. Keep this key within you. You are unique. And now, this can be proven. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath, and now, release, as if you were releasing all the times that trusting cost you dearly. Trust has always been a risk, in a friend's word, in the promise of a contract, in the ethics of a bank, in the integrity of an institution. We trust because we need to, but history has shown us, time after time, that human trust is fragile. Promises break, contracts are circumvented, speeches change, regulations fail, and then the silent question echoes: who to trust when no one is trustworthy? The answer came from the unexpected, from the cold, from the mathematical, from what seems impersonal. It came from code. Yes, lines written by people, but executed without judgments, without emotions, without hidden interests. Code doesn't lie, doesn't get distracted, doesn't forget, doesn't get corrupted if it's well written. And when that code lives on the blockchain, it becomes even more powerful, because there, it cannot be changed, it cannot be erased, it cannot be manipulated silently. It just works. This is how smart contracts are born. Smart contracts, self-executing agreements, pure lines of logic, without lawyers, without intermediaries, without the need for blind trust. You don't need to believe in the person, nor trust the institution. You just need to trust the code, and the code will fulfill exactly what it promised, without delays, without excuses, without hidden clauses. If A happens, then B will be executed, without emotion, without doubt. It's like a safe that only opens when the conditions are met. Imagine a rent where the payment is made automatically, at the exact second it's due. And if it's not made, access is blocked, without calls, without fights, without bureaucracy, or an inheritance. That is only released when the blockchain records the official death, and the conditions are verified, or a loan, without a bank, without a manager, without a line, just code that releases or doesn't release. This is the trust of code. It doesn't require faith. It requires mathematics. It doesn't depend on intentions. It depends on executions. And that's why, for the first time in history, humanity can build reliable systems without needing to trust anyone. It's ironic, isn't it? We were taught since childhood to believe in people, but now it is the code itself that frees human relationships from human flaws. And more than contracts, this new trust allows for new forms of organization. Companies without bosses, communities without fixed leaders, projects without employers. All of this guided by code, decisions voted on, actions executed automatically, rewards distributed based on verifiable meritocracy. These organizations, called DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, living systems, without a center, without a headquarters, without absolute control, just rules, code, and people who choose to participate in a world of distrust. This is revolutionary and also transformative because it forces you to be more transparent, more direct, more truthful. You can't promise what you won't deliver. You can't pretend what you can't prove. On the blockchain, everything is recorded, every movement, every vote, every transaction. It's a mirror that does not distort. And at the same time, it's a shield that protects. You no longer need to give up your privacy to be trustworthy, nor expose your data to be part of something bigger. With the trust of code, you can act in a network without getting lost in the crowd. You can collaborate without being exploited. You can build without needing to ask permission, because the system is not centralized. It belongs to everyone. It belongs to no one. And in that, there is something deeply human, a beautiful paradox. We use the coldness of code to build human warmth. We use the rigidity of logic to unleash creativity. We use the machine to rescue what is most essential: trust. Breathe once more, slowly, and feel. You no longer need to believe in promises. You can trust in what is written, in what is immutable, in what is transparent. You can trust the code, and with that, trust yourself more, because now you have the tools, you have the power. You don't need to ask, you can build. Let's explore how this transforms entire economies, how money reprograms itself, how value redefines itself, and how scarcity can be reinvented into digital abundance. Close your eyes for a moment. Remember the first time you held a coin, or that paper bill that seemed magical as a child. Money has always had a strange power over us. It's just paper, or metal, or nowadays a sequence of digits on a screen, but it moves worlds, builds empires, destroys nations, unites families, and also separates them. But have you ever wondered what money really is? Many think that money is value, but it is not value itself. It is a language, a way of counting, of measuring, of recording what we exchange. It's a symbol, a collective trust, a narrative, because money only works when everyone believes in it. A piece of paper is only worth something if someone agrees to receive it in exchange. But what if the narrative changed? What if we could rewrite the code behind money? For centuries, it was controlled by kings, central banks, governments. But now, for the first time in history, it can be reprogrammed. Bitcoin was the first, an open code, without an owner, without bosses, a money that doesn't need permission, doesn't need a bank, doesn't need borders. You can send values to anywhere in the world in minutes without asking anyone for authorization. But Bitcoin is just the beginning, the seed, because now money is also software. And like all software, it can be updated, reimagined, customized. Today, there are programmable currencies, tokens that can only be used for certain actions, money that can only be spent on education, or on health, or that is only released when a certain goal is reached. You can create your own currency for your community, for your project, for your cause. It's the birth of regenerative economies, decentralized, participatory, money that circulates among people fairly, transparently, without exploitation. Imagine a village with its own digital currency, where value is not lost, but circulates among the people, where local work is valued, where those who care, who plant, who teach, receive, or imagine a game, where the time you invest truly rewards you, where you earn not just points, but digital assets, properties, lands, unique items that have real value that you can sell, trade, or keep. Money ceases to be something that controls you and becomes something you create. You no longer need a bank, nor approval, nor imposed limits. You program the rules, the flow, the purpose, and so you create new realities. Realities where value is not extracted, but circulates. Where wealth is not accumulating, but sharing. This changes everything. It changes how we think, how we work, how we trust, how we build. Before, money was scarcity. Now, it can be abundance if it is distributed with awareness, if it is programmed with ethics, if it is guided by the collective. Do you realize how this also transforms you? You are no longer just a consumer, or an employee, or a number in an account. You are a creator, a programmer of value, an economic architect. And in this new world, money ceases to be taboo and becomes a tool for healing, for justice, for inclusion. But of course, this requires responsibility, because power without awareness is just a repetition of the past. That's why every line of code needs to be written with intention. Every token needs to have a purpose. Every transaction can carry a mission. Reprogramming money is reprogramming the fabric of society, and deep down, it's reprogramming our gaze about value, about wealth, about what really matters. It's not about zeros in the account. It's about real impact. It's about contribution. It's about freedom. Let's explore what this means. When we talk about property, let's understand how the digital can give us back what was taken. How NFTs redefine authorship, identity, and presence. For centuries, we were taught that property was something physical, a piece of land, a house, an object that can be touched. But what if I told you that we are entering an era in which being and having no longer depend on what is palpable? How many times have you created something and it disappeared on the internet? A text, a video, an art, an idea. Have you ever felt that you lost something that was yours? Or worse, that you were never recognized for something that came from your essence? The truth is that in the digital world, we have been reduced to profiles, avatars, pieces of data, likes, comments, engagement, but not property. Because for a long time, everything we create online doesn't really belong to us. It is stored on servers we don't control, on platforms that can delete at any time, or profit from what is ours without sharing anything. But now, this is changing. With the arrival of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, we can, for the first time in digital history, prove what is ours. An art, a music, an idea, a piece of virtual land, a moment, a memory. All of this can be registered, authenticated, and eternalized. NFTs are not just about collectibles. They are about identity, about authorship, about value. They allow you to have the right to be recognized as a creator. And more than that, they allow you to transfer that right, or share it, or monetize it without depending on intermediaries. Imagine a writer who releases a poem as an NFT, and every time it is resold, receives a share, always. Or a musician who shares a track with their fans, and whoever owns that NFT has access to exclusive shows, backstage creative decisions, or a community that decides to join forces and buy land in a digital world to build their own village with their own rules, their own art, their own history, because now digital space can also be home. The most beautiful thing about all this is that possession ceases to be selfish and becomes relational. You can have, and at the same time, share. You can be an owner without being an oppressor. You can have value without extracting it from others, because NFTs also carry purpose. You can program that a part of each sale goes to a cause, to a common fund, to replant trees, to finance children's education, to support emerging artists. This is revolutionary, but it is also intimate, personal, existential, because in the end, it's not just about having something, it's about being someone, about recognizing yourself as a creator, as an agent, as a legitimate presence in the digital and real world. You are more than a user, more than a number, more than a profile. You are an author. You own your story, your trace, your sound, your idea, and now you can prove it. Keep it, share it, and yes, live from it. But remember, with this new power also comes a new responsibility. The responsibility not to fall into the same mistakes of the past, not to transform this new world into a reflection of the old one. It's not about selling everything, about creating artificial scarcity, about chasing hype. It's about honoring, about marking, about elevating, of transforming the act of creating into an act of healing, of connection, of eternity. You no longer need to ask permission to exist digitally. You can be, and by being, you can have space, have a voice, have value. Chapter 8 comes to an end, but the awakening is just beginning. Let's go beyond possession. Let's talk about deep identity, authenticity, and true presence. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself in front of a mirror, but not an ordinary mirror. A mirror made of lights and data. A mirror that reflects not only your physical image, but everything that you are, were, and can become in the vast digital universe. Who are you when no one is watching? When the social mask falls, and only your gestures, your intentions, your essence remain. In the physical world, the mirror reflects your face, but in the digital world, it reflects your identity, the one we build with our clicks, words, choices. Each post, each photo, each comment and interaction is a fragment of you reflected on the screen. But is this reflection the real you, or is it just a shadow? A character created to please, to belong, to fit into patterns. Here, in this calm space, without judgments, without haste, let's explore who you really are. Are you a collector of moments, a creator of stories, a seeker of genuine connections? Or are you still discovering? The truth is that in the digital world, there is great power, the power to reinvent oneself. You can erase the past or create new versions of yourself. But this freedom can also be a trap. When we become multiple versions, we lose the notion of what is authentic, of what is real. Therefore, more than building a digital identity, it is essential to cultivate authenticity, to be true to who you are, even if it means being different, being unique. And here enters the beauty of Bitcoin and the technology behind it. Just as the blockchain records and validates each transaction, each blockchain to the next, you can record and validate your own digital presence with cryptographic proofs of authenticity, with digital rights that no one can erase. But not only that, you can also create communities, places where authenticity flourishes, where diversity is celebrated, where the I and the we coexist in harmony. Imagine a world where you don't need to hide behind masks, where your true voice echoes with strength and respect, where your art, your music, your words are recognized and valued for what they truly are. This is the invitation of Chapter 9, an invitation to look within, to reflect in the digital mirror, and to find yourself. And the answer you find will be the foundation for your journey in the new world. A world where being and having go together, where you own your story and at the same time are part of something bigger. When you are ready, open your eyes, feel whole, present, authentic, and know that this is just the first of many reflections. Let's explore the power of community, how together we can build new spaces of trust, collaboration, and prosperity. Imagine an invisible web, not made of wires, but of connections, of trust, of collaboration. At the center of this web, there is no single point of control. It expands, grows, fueled by each node, each person, each idea, each gesture of support. This is the essence of the network, a system where everyone participates, and at the same time, everyone benefits. In the world of Bitcoin, this network is called the blockchain, a shared, transparent ledger where no one commands alone, but everyone collaborates to maintain the truth. Now, think about your digital life, about the people you know, the communities you frequent. How do these connections strengthen you? How do they inspire you? How do they protect you? In the network, we find strength to withstand crises, to innovate, to grow. But for this strength to exist, we need to cultivate trust. Trust is the foundation of every relationship, and the digital network is no different. When we trust each other, we create a safe space to be who we are, to share ideas, to build together. And this construction is not just virtual, it reverberates in the real world, in our daily choices, in the way we help those close to us, in the care for the community. Imagine a network where every positive action multiplies, like a gentle wave that touches every point without haste, but with transformative power. Bitcoin is a living example of this, a system that depends on the collaboration of many, that values transparency and security, and that rewards collective effort. By recognizing the strength of the network, you also recognize your role, no longer an isolated piece, but an essential link. Each of your gestures, each conscious choice, each kind word, each offered help, becomes part of this living web. And so, we walk together, building bridges, opening doors, creating possibilities. The network is made of you, of me, of all of us, and this collective strength guides us, protects us, and inspires us. When you are ready, take a deep breath, feel this connection pulsing within you, and know that by strengthening the network, you strengthen yourself. Let's delve into the power of conscious choice, how our decisions shape the future we want to live. Imagine the moment when you stop. Stop doing everything on autopilot. Stop, breathe, and realize that you are facing a path that opens up from your choices that often seem small, one step to the left, one step to the right, but each of them carries immense power. In the world of Bitcoin and financial life, this is no different. Every decision you make about your money, your time, your knowledge, has the potential to transform your future. We are not talking about rushing, nor about anxiety, but about a calm, clear awareness that knows that every choice matters. And this conscious choice begins with understanding who you are, what you want, and what you're willing to build. In the universe of Bitcoin, this means looking beyond the charts, the quick news, and connecting with the meaning behind what is happening. You choose how you want to participate in this new reality. You can be a quiet observer, learning at your own pace, or an active participant who decides to experiment, explore, always respecting your limits. Every path is valid, and there is no right or wrong path. There is the path that resonates with you. And by making this conscious choice, you give yourself the gift of autonomy, the gift of being the protagonist of your own story, of creating with intention, of cultivating a space where fear gives way to curiosity and doubt gives way to trust. So, now, take a deep breath. Feel that strength within you, that ability to choose, to decide, to move forward at your own pace, and know that in each step, you are not alone. We are together on this journey, ready to discover where care and patience are the guides. In the fast-paced rhythm of the modern world, patience seems like a forgotten virtue. We want everything fast, immediate answers, instant results. But when we talk about Bitcoin and any learning process, patience is the master key that opens invisible doors. Imagine a seed planted in fertile soil. It doesn't grow overnight. It takes time to take root, time to absorb nutrients, time to strengthen itself against wind and rain. Such is your journey with Bitcoin. You planted the seed of knowledge and let time do its work. Each moment of study, each welcomed doubt, each small step taken is like watering that seed. It is an act of self-love, and little by little, confidence arises. Understanding, the security to act. Time is not your enemy. It is your ally. It teaches that not everything needs to be rushed, that great transformations happen at the right pace, and this applies to your financial life, your mind, and your heart. So breathe, feel time passing, and realize that every moment is an opportunity, a chance to grow, learn, and prepare. Patience makes room for calm, and calm makes room for clarity. Clarity to perceive when to act, when to wait, when to advance, and when simply to be. In any new journey, especially when it involves something as valuable as money, it is natural for challenges and, unfortunately, risks to appear. The world of Bitcoin, despite being a proposal for freedom and innovation, can also be a stage for pitfalls and fraud. But here, together, we will learn to navigate safely. The first step is always reliable information. Look for official sources. Study calmly. Don't believe in easy promises of quick profit. Remember, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Another recommendation is to protect your information. Just as you keep an important key safe, your passwords, private keys, and personal data must be kept with great care. Never share this data with strangers, and avoid clicking on suspicious links or downloading files from dubious sources. There are also known scams, such as financial pyramids, Ponzi schemes, and false investment platforms. Always be skeptical. Research before investing. Talk to trusted people. And never invest more than you can afford to lose. Security starts with you, with conscious choices, with attention to detail, and with the courage to say no when something seems wrong. Remember, Bitcoin is a tool, a technology, but who is in control always is you, and it is your duty to take care of your path with care and attention. Thus, with information, security, and patience, you will build a strong journey, a safe journey, and above all, a journey of learning. Now that we have walked together through this journey of knowledge and calm, it's time to look a little ahead. Imagine the future as a vast open field where new possibilities bloom slowly, like flowers that open with the soft light of dawn. Bitcoin is a seed that has already grown, but it is still growing, and along with it, many other ways of thinking about and living with money are emerging. Personal finance today is no longer just about saving or spending. It's about understanding your value, about creating freedom, about living more consciously. And Bitcoin, with its proposal of decentralization and transparency, opens doors to a world where each person can have more control and security over their own money. And what does this mean for you? It means that the knowledge you build now is your passport to that future. A future where you can make calmer, more conscious decisions without haste, with the confidence that comes from calm and understanding. Here, at this moment, you are planting a tree that will grow at your own pace, without hurry, without pressure, just with the certainty that every step counts. So, take a deep breath, feel the serenity that comes from preparation, and know that the future is open for you to explore, with courage, with tranquility, and with hope. This is the magic of financial education and the beauty of Bitcoin that you have already begun to discover. Close your eyes. Feel your body relaxing more and more. With each breath, let tranquility spread throughout your being. You have traveled a gentle path, a journey of knowledge and calm, about a topic that before might have seemed distant or even frightening, but that now is a serene part of your understanding. Remember the images we visited together, the calm river, the small flame that illuminates the darkness, the quiet garden where you can walk in peace. All of this is part of your learning, your financial awareness. You have learned that money does not need to be a source of anxiety, that it can be seen as a tool for freedom, for growth, for kindness towards yourself. Feel this peace. Feel that you are in control of your story, that every step you take will be with calm, with attention, with care, and that Bitcoin is just one of the ways the world offers us for this journey. Now, allow yourself to rest in this moment, as if you were in a welcoming embrace, without hurry, without worries, just here and now. When you're ready, slowly begin to bring your attention to the present. Move your fingers, take another deep breath, and know that this journey can continue whenever you wish, because learning and calm are always within your reach. Thank you for being here with me today. May your financial journey always be filled with serenity, clarity, and kindness. Until next time.